What's up, what's up, what's up, what's good, what's good, what's good, everybody, it's time. It is the Money Match Gaming Podcast. I am part of your co-host team, The Infinite. I'm here with my good old friend, my good buddy, Dan Estrata.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, we're good. We're meeting in the ether there, just so you guys know.
Up. Nah, I went the wrong way. I'm a failure. I failed you and I failed all the listeners. Shame me, please. What's up, guys? This is Dan Estrata, and this is the Money Match Gaming podcast talk show extravaganza spectacular. I'm dropping things all over the floor here. Yes. And today we are talking about Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus, the new Invader Zim movie on Netflix by all the original creators and original voices, which is really cool. So, without further ado, Lance, you want to give us a little description?
Sure. So, Invader Zim entered the Florpus. Zim discovers his almighty leaders never had any intention of coming to Earth, and he loses all confidence in himself for the first time in his life, which is a big deal, or which is the big break his human nemesis, Dib, was waiting for. End scene.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, this is about it. All it is, man. So, your general thoughts, man? How you felt?
I loved it. I love this movie so much. I grew up with Invader Zim. It was one of my favorite shows then. Watching this, reignited something in me that I thought was long gone, and that was a love for Invader Zim. They captured the essence of what made everything that made the show so good. I think I saw it was 17 years since the last episode.
It's been a while.
Seems like a long time. That doesn't seem accurate. I think I was older than 10 the last time an episode came out. But regardless, however long it was a long time, and I loved it. I'm so happy that it exists, and I honestly hope that this leads to more, because critical consensus for this has been rather positive, which is good. And a lot of people I know who've watched it have also liked it. So I'm hoping we get more Invader Zim somewhere along the way, because this was awesome. This was great.
Okay, I'm gonna burst your bubble. I didn't like it at all. I think mainly simply because they try to pick up right where they left off. I was a fan. I enjoyed it. But it's been a long time. I don't remember any of it. And for them to just shoot off right there, I was kind of like, well, I get it, and I like that they're trying to get you back in immersion, get you back into the flow of things I just didn't get there. I was kind of, and they only did 2 jokes, 2 or 3 jokes that were kind of related towards, them starting from that point. So I just didn't really understand why they wanted to. So the first joke, because you squinted a little bit there, was so you were sitting in a toilet for 5 months or however long it was, and he's like, yeah. And they joked about that. And then, the whole Dib's been in a chair and he's kind of morphed into his chair for however long that period is that he was gone. And I was like, you could have just.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want the whole movie to just be talking about how long it's been.
No, I don't. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they could have just did without it. I think it should have just been its own standalone thing, and I think it kind of distracted.
I personally love that it picked up right for when it left off, because, like I said, I was a big fan of the show, and the show. That's how the show kind of ended. It's nice that it just picked up. That's the same thing with I don't know if you watched the Rocco short at all. That picks up exactly where that show left off, which I think that's great, because it's almost as if it never left, even though it left. It's still canonically accurate. I don't like when things just throw, they're just well, it's related to it. It's all the same characters, but it doesn't exist within the same, no, that's stupid. That's dumb. I don't want any of that. Give me canon. If you're going to make something new off a property that I like, make it canon. The only thing that it's acceptable is Are You Afraid of the Dark, because that's an anthology series. There is no real canon to Are You Afraid of the Dark other than the movie for some reason. But yeah, they're making a new Are You Afraid of the Dark, and obviously it's not canon because it's all just short different little stories. Yeah.
So yeah, it just for me it didn't quite do it. It just it's not that it was terrible or like the worst thing ever. It just couldn't get like back into it, man. It's just like again, like some of this kind of like boils down to like my mood too. Like humor is like one of those things that I have to be in the right mood for, and like I don't know why. I don't know why. Like sometimes things can be like really really funny, and then other times I'm just kind of like meh. And today was one of those days that was very meh for me, to where I was like, yeah. I'm happy it came back. So even though I'm very super neutral / probably a little bit of negative, is just like I don't know why. That's the one thing. I sat down to write a few things about how I felt, and it was just one of those things that like I really didn't pull a whole lot out. I was just like, I'm happy it's back. I'm like, and that's like the two pros I have. I'm happy it's back. It deserves to be here. It deserves to exist. And like you said at the beginning, I want to see it extend and I want to see it go on. But like, I didn't like this.
I am on the completely opposite side of the fence. I think this was incredible. I think if Into the Spider-Verse did not exist, I think this would be one of the best animated properties I've ever seen. I think they did such a good job with the animation, especially when they were in the Florpus. I thought that was really good. I liked when they experiment with different art styles. I'm a big fan of that. I thought, like I said, I'm a big fan of the fact that it picked up right where it left off. It made it feel like it never left. I mean, it very clearly did, but it was like as soon as Dib started talking, as soon as Membrane was talking to oh my god, now Gaz, Membrane was talking to Gaz. As soon as we first see Zim and Gur just doing stretches in the lawn because they're stretching menacingly. Like I was just like it just took me back, and I just loved it. Every moment of that movie was so enjoyable. Even from the very beginning, when it starts with an anime opening, I was like, "This is so good!" Like I turned it on, and my first reaction, like 10 seconds in, was just like, "This is great. I am so happy about this." And that just carried its way through the entire thing for me. Right. Like there was never a part where I was like not entertained by what was happening.
I did like how his dad was like a superhero, because I don't ever remember seeing his dad a whole lot.
No, his dad is just like the biggest scientist in the world.
Right. And it was like just really cool that he like did all that stuff. I did enjoy that, it was like kind of short lived. And I kind of like the whole, like, if only this was real, I'd be able to believe you, son. And it was like...
that was great, yeah.
He's like...
He refuses to believe that it's happening.
Right, he's like, it's very real, Dad.
What a crazy random dream that was yesterday, huh?
Right.
Dude.
It's like, as he's looking at his, like,
clearly
it's not like, clone.
That's, like, been one of the running gags throughout the show, is that it's very obvious that Dib is right, and that Zim is an alien, but everybody is just dumb as hell.
Right, the whole...
No one knows. Like, the neighbors...
Yeah, the neighbor is like, oh, there's an alien out here.
The neighbor's an alien. It's like, oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Just a kid.
Right. So, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, the only con that I have for it, and it's not really a con, is that Minnie Moose doesn't keep the pizza sticker that he steals at the beginning off of the car for the whole movie. Because I love that scene. Where that kid is just like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, that's my mom's favorite sticker. Hey, stop that. Stop it. And he's just like,
quit.
Just sticks it to the side of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really adored this. Like, I could gush about it for a long time. There's so many scenes that I really like. I think one of the funniest parts of the movie is when like you're in like where Membrane is like showing off his like new wrist gadget, and he's talking about Peace Day, and he's like, there's nobody who loves peace as much as I do, and the one guy in the audience is like, oh, I like peace more than you, and just instantly zooms up to his face, and he's like, scientifically impossible. There's so many things in that movie that caught me so off guard. I love that the tallest and the almighty tallest are literally just moving in a straight line They're like, they don't care to do anything else other than move in a straight line. I thought that was really funny. I thought they were great. It was pretty corny, but it was funny. The scene where they're like talking about Zim, and they're like, "Man, it's so great that he hasn't been around for so long. This is awesome." And they're like, "Someone's calling it. Don't worry about it. It's very clearly not Zim. Throw him up on the screen." And it's Zim. Just like, "Oh no,
we made a mistake."
Yeah. I felt like the computer was way more animated in this movie than it is in the show. The computer is not as big a character, I feel like, in the show. It just kind of like responds, whereas this one, it very clearly like had a personality.
Secretly attaining power. Attaining power. It's like, it's not secret. Secretive.
I loved Clembrain. I thought Clembrain was like just so dumb. It was hilarious for me. I also love that he looked like Fishstick from Fortnite. Like every time I saw him, I just thought of Fishstick from Fortnite, and I was like, "This is great." All the characters were great. I wish the teacher was in it more, because she's one of my favorite characters from the show. But she wasn't, so that is what it is. But yeah, no, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
What's the little robot's name?
Gur.
Usually he's the guy that gets me, and he didn't get me. The whole random eating the pig?
Well, that's the thing. Gur is still kind of funny. He's mostly adorable, but he's still kind of funny. It's just that like his humor is like I am very random humor, which is fine. Except most people grow out of that when they're like 12 or 13. He still had some bits that were funny, but most of the things from Gur weren't as funny as like I think the surrounding parts. I think if you were a kid, you probably would still enjoy Gur a lot, but he had a couple things that I thought were really funny. Specifically, like at the end there when he's like he hops on his horse and just like gallops like 2 steps and just falls down, and the wind just kind of like pulls him off.
I tried. I tried my best.
I tried
my best. And then he kind of walks off.
I also like his plan when he's like, "Gur, what's the plan?" He's like, "All right, we're gonna order 10 million pizzas, and I'm gonna roll around in them, and then I'm gonna become a giant pizza."
We're not ordering pizza.
But yeah, no, I was super into it, all of it. I actually have watched it a few times now, and I still like it every time.
Yeah, it didn't tickle my fancy, unfortunately. I want to share into the happiness, but it's just not there for me.
That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. Not everything is made for everybody. Every art is subjective, as they say. Had this conversation at work today. Me and my coworker were just talking about like music and whatnot, and he I don't remember if it was he or I said like an artist was bad, and then I was like, you can't really say that someone is bad, because bad to you is not bad to someone else. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean other people don't like it. So I try not to use words like this is bad anymore, but I very much so enjoyed it.
So is that it?
I mean, if you don't have anything else to say,
I really don't.
When you're critical, you have a lot more things to say. I just gush. That's all I do.
Yeah, normally I would. I really have a hard time identifying like what it is. Usually I can pinpoint it, but this I just watched and it just didn't tickle my fancy. And again, it's not terrible. It did keep to the spirit of the show. I just didn't reach. I don't know what I didn't reach. See, there we go. Like that's kind of how I have to leave it. Is like,
hey man, and that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be incredible to everyone. There are very few things that are like universally loved by everybody that everybody finds incredible. One of those probably being Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah,
I have not met a person who I've showed it to or has watched it who was like, I didn't like that. And if I did, I'd probably punch them in the mouth, and they know they deserve it.
I don't know if you can justly say, "Oh yeah, I didn't like it." I'm like, "What did you like?"
You can say you didn't like it, but you can't say that it's not incredible. Like you have to be like, "Yeah, it was kind of like one of the best movies ever, but I wasn't into it." And then I'd be like, "All right, I get it.
I mean, the only time that I feel like it would be justified if you're one of those guys who are like, "I don't like animated movies." Period.
But that's not justified because that's the dumbest statement. I hate when people say that.
Well,
movies are for kids. Like, shut up.
I mean, but that's the only way I could expect somebody to be like, yeah, I didn't like it. Cause it's like,
yeah, right. There was one dude I watched a video on YouTube about him. There's one dude on YouTube who didn't like it, but it was not so much that it was animated, but he was like, the style of the animation gave me a headache, and nobody else is complaining about this, and it was a terrible movie because of this. And like the guy who was talking about him was like, you realize you're the only one who's had this complaint. Maybe it's you the problem, not the movie. You know, maybe you have problem with your eyesight that it gave you a headache. Like, some people complained about headaches, but nobody was like, it gave me a headache. It's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Animation was amazing, man. Like, this is literally one of the best things about it.
Why that movie could give somebody a headache, especially like the way it's animated. Like, at times it's like blurry, and the way it moves, I could totally see that messing with someone's eyes and giving them a headache. Like, that totally makes sense to me. But that is not a reason to be like, this is a bad movie, because clearly that's the only person who, like, it really affected so much that they were like, I can't watch this movie because it gives me a headache.
It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, Enter the Florpus. So, scores?
I'm like, see, I don't even want to rate this time because it's just.
You don't have to.
It's not right, but I mean, hey, this is how our format's set up. I give it a 2. I give it a 2.
I gave it on the very opposite side of the spectrum, 4.9 out of 5. I didn't want to give it a 5 out of 5 because I don't think it was perfect, and I don't think, like, the only other 5 out of 5 I've given, I think, is Into the Spider-Verse, and I need to keep Into the Spider-Verse at the top at all costs. So I can't, like, there's very few things that are comparable to that. This is very close. It's 4.9, but I couldn't give it the full 5 out of 5 just because, you know, I had to keep it a little bit under Spider-Verse.
And I mean, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. So next week, we do have our topic. You're good for next week, yeah? I think Labor Day's next week.
Yeah, I think
that's what my dad said, so I don't know if you got anything going on, but
I mean,
we're good.
I think we can do it on Tuesday, but I've got nothing going on.
Yeah, okay. So we're doing the, do remakes deserve to happen? There's probably a better way to word that. Do you have a better way to word that?
Because it's not do they deserve to happen. I just want to talk about what you think about the kind of world we live in today, where there are a lot of remakes, a lot of reboots, a lot of reimagining of same things, and rather remasters of games, rather than a lot of, there's more rehashing. It's essentially nostalgia. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? The proper ways to, like, market nostalgia, the improper ways to market nostalgia, all sorts of stuff about it.
Gotcha.
I don't really have, like, a set name for the topic, but I guess nostalgia is a good word.
Right. Are we headed the right direction as far as content creation and nostalgia? Yeah. So we'll catch you guys next week. I will definitely have a lot more to say, so we can hash it out, have a few conversations about content. Until then, you guys, we'll catch you later. Peace as always. Welcome to, I think, one of the shortest episodes we've had. So
in a while. I know, not all time. We've had some short ones, but this is probably the shortest in some time.
Domo. Outside of that, we'll see you guys later.
Later.